Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of E-Nags in the NFL, back at my girlfriend's place. So, we're going to slap some picks this week. Last week was a rough one, went 6-8 money line, 5-8-1 against the spread. Yeah, just a really ugly week in and of itself. Brings us to 119-71 money line and 104-79-4 against the spread. So let's hop in and get to a better week 15. We're starting off on Saturday. I'll be at the game. Vikings at Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are 3-point favorites. And in this game, to me, you're going to see Nick Mullins start, which is kind of interesting. You've got Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, who are both banged up but are going to play. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. You've got some starting linemen out for the Vikings. And for the Bengals, the really only injury that I think is kind of interesting is Drew Sample. Been playing a lot better of late, especially since we've seen Jake Browning come into the lineup. So that's kind of interesting, but I don't think it has too big of an impact on the game. And to me, I lean the Bengals this one. I think their defense can end up getting after Nick Mullins in that offense with them being a little bit more banged up. I do like the over in this game at 40.5. I could see both teams kind of scoring, but I see the Bengals coming out on top, winning and covering here. Next game, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts, and the Colts are 1.5-point favorite against the Steelers, which I don't think is too surprising right now. The Steelers kind of look lost offensively, and they had some defensive struggles. TJ Watt kind of looked a little banged up going up against the Patriots, but they kind of let the Patriots push around, which I was, to say surprised would probably be a little bit of an understatement. Samalu's questionable, so that's pretty big for their offense. You're going to have Trubisky back there, so I don't know. You do have Braden Smith out for the Colts, so I think it's going to be, I forget the name of the guy, but the kid from BYU I think will be starting this play. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes, but the Colts kind of hit, this was their first loss since week 8 against the Saints last week against the Bengals. So that was kind of interesting. I normally love Pittsburgh as a home or as just a dog in general, but I'm going to take the Colts here. I just feel like they're probably the better team right now. Colts are better at covering, and I just don't really trust the Steelers, especially with Mitch Trubisky back there. Maybe with Rudolph it'd be different, but probably not. So give me the Colts to win and cover. Next game, we have the Denver Broncos at the Lions, and the Lions are 4.5-point favorites, which is honestly shocking to me, especially seeing how their defense has played in the last few weeks. They're 27th ranked defense in power rankings for PFF, which is obviously the best for me because PFF employee, but still. I think Goff's kind of hit a bit of a lull here. I don't think he's been playing the same, and I think the Broncos have kind of turned it on. That defense is kind of ramping it up. Russell Wilson's been playing well. Aleem McNeil's out for the... Dude, I don't know. I don't like the Lions in this game at all. So this one's kind of easy for me. I'm shocked. The Broncos have lost one game since week 6, which is insane. That was to the Texans, and kind of a thriller. And the Lions have hit a little rough patch since they played the Bears and won that game by 5 on Thanksgiving. They've played the Packers. Oh, no, it was the Packers they lost on Thanksgiving. My bad. The week before, they played the Bears. They've lost to the Packers, beat the Saints barely, and then lost. They got blown out by the Bears last week. I don't like this. I do think the Broncos are going to cover. I could see the Lions winning, but just because of how low I am on the Lions, give me the Broncos to win too at plus 180. I kind of love that. Next game on the docket, we have the Buccaneers at the Packers. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. I just saw that both A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are both questionable. So that is kind of crazy for me. Apologies for the furnace if you guys can hear that. I'll try to edit it in post. But yeah, this one is a weird game. Packers had a really bad game last week against the Giants. Things kind of did not go right for them. I kind of look as this for a bounce back spot. I don't know if the Buccaneers defense is as good as have given them credit for in recent times. I like the Packers in a get right spot here against the Buccaneers. So give me the Packers to win and cover the 3.5. Next game on the docket is the Giants at the Saints. The Giants are 5.5-point dogs, which is interesting to me. Derek Carr has not looked good. Last week they had a bunch of garbage time stats, I would like to say, against the Panthers, 28-6. And before that, they lost 3 straight games. I see the Saints getting this done, but I don't know. This Giants team is kind of feisty right now. They just upset the Packers, and they're on a 3-game win streak. They had an ugly win against the Patriots. But I don't know, that defense is kind of playing back where you thought it would for the Giants, and Tommy DeVito has given them a spark, man. So I like the Giants to cover this, but I still think the Saints pull out the win. I hate them at minus 245 on the money line. Would not put that in any of your parlays, but I love the Giants to cover the 5.5 here. Next game, we have the Falcons at the Panthers. The Panthers are 3-point dogs. This game is where the meme was going around where I think it was 74 cents to go to the game or something crazy like that. I looked it up. To sit 4 rows off the field is like $90, which is insane, especially in today's day and age of NFL tickets. So that's kind of crazy. You've had Bryce Young struggling mightily through his rookie season, and you've had the Falcons being a lot feistier. They're definitely still in it to win the division in the NFC South. They just lost a close one to the Bucks. But besides that, since week 8, it's been real streaky. They lost 3 straight, won 2 in a row, then just dropped this one to the Bucks. I honestly love this spot for the Panthers because I think the Falcons are kind of teetering right now. I don't think they're great, but I don't know if I can put my faith. I think I've bet the Panthers a lot recently, and I think they've bit me in the ass every single time. So I'm gonna fade the Panthers here. Sorry, Bryce. I'm going to take the Falcons to win and cover the 3. A game that I honestly think is hilarious. We have the Texans at the Titans. Titans are 3.5-point favorites. Pretty sure the Titans are wearing the Oilers uniforms, which is very funny as a little troll to Houston, which I think is awesome. It looks like, I at least from my understanding in looking at the line, I think Stroud's out with his concussion. Looks like Nico Collins is questionable. Blake Cashman is doubtful. Yeah, the Texans are just super banged up. You loved what you saw from the Titans against the Dolphins. I mean, is that super repeatable? Probably not. Looks like Jeff Simmons is going to be out, so I guess that does affect some things, but I think the Titans should be able to get it done. This Texans team is super banged up. I really don't like the fact that the Titans are favored in this, but last 3 weeks they've looked decent. They lost a really close one to the Colts in overtime. They looked good against the Dolphins. They ended up covering that. The thing is, they don't want to win games, but I think they're gonna. I think the Titans are gonna win and cover this game against the banged up Texans. We've got the Jets at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are 9.5-point favorites. I don't really know what's going on with Tyreek right now. I think he's questionable with that ankle injury that we saw. He's been playing unreal. Definitely, and honestly, probably should be in the MVP conversation. But Tua also been playing decent. They did just choke that game against the Titans. I didn't see the end of it. I went to bed, but because I thought it was over. Boy, was I wrong. And then you've got the Jets, who are coming off that big win against the Texans. I don't know if they can do that again, but I do think 9.5 is a little too much for the Dolphins. They look like they were struggling mightily without Tyreek in when I was watching. And I think 9.5 is too much. I think Dolphins still eke out the win. But again, I hate that at minus 510. But I think the Dolphins get the dub, but I think the Jets covered the 9. Rolling right along into another game where I love the dog. We've got the Bears at the Browns. This one's going to be super interesting. We still got Flacco in for the Browns, and we got Justin Fields playing better ball of late for the Bears. I'm not sure if I don't buy into them kind of sticking around with him, but 2 straight wins. Obviously, the Vikings game was super ugly, and then the Lions one, they just looked like the better team. I mean, since week 10, they've only lost a game, and Justin Fields has been playing good ball. When it goes to the Browns, they stopped their skid. They lost to the Broncos, and then they lost to the Rams, but they beat the Jags last week, and 31-27. It's kind of back and forth game. Defense caused a lot of turnovers. I could see that happening in the field, so I don't love the line. It's kind of a rat line to me. I don't love either side. I'm going to take the Browns to win, the Bears to cover. This gives me, it's like a 38.5 over under. So I don't know what to expect. I think the Bears defense has been playing better than people would give them credit for, but I'm going to take the Browns to win, the Bears to cover. I think that's just how I feel. I don't love this game at all. Probably won't touch this game because it's just kind of a weird one. Oh, see, this one I hate too, man. This is the Chiefs at the Patriots. Patriots are 8.5-point dogs. Mahomes and company have not looked great of late. They just lost that game to the Bills where they were kind of complaining all week long. Over-under's at 37, so the weather's probably not going to be great in New England. And the Patriots coming off that huge win on Thursday night against the Steelers. I don't like this at all. I just hate this. Pacheco is out. Bolton's questionable. Tranquil's questionable. I just don't know. The Patriots are still obviously banged up as they are, but I just think this Patriots defense can do enough to, in a low-scoring, ugly game, keep it close to the 8.5. That's kind of what I'm going to do. I think the Chiefs are going to have to pass the ball more than they want. I could see a few turnovers from that, just having to force passes and stuff. But yeah, give me the Chiefs to win and the Pats to cover. I just think 8.5 is too many points. Now just an interesting game. We've got the Commanders at the Rams. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites. Just a weird game. Over-under's at 50.5. Since it's inside, I definitely think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Probably going to see a lot of variance here. We got Stafford playing just good ball. He probably should have done enough to beat the Ravens last week. He was playing pretty great. And before that, they were on a 3-game win streak. So Stafford's been kind of playing some hero ball. And with the Commanders, they're on a horrid skid. They've lost 4 straight games. In the last 2 games, they've given up 45 points. So to me, I just don't think their defense is going to be able to do enough to stop the Rams. And I think the Rams defense can do just enough to stop them. So give me the Rams to win and cover. Don't love the big spread here, but, we're still riding with the Rams. This one I'm not really going to talk too much about, but we've got the San Francisco 49ers minus 12.5 against the Arizona Cardinals. Brock Purdy's MVP conversation. The Niners are just full of dudes. Just everybody on their team is unbelievable. And the Cardinals are just the Cardinals right now. They're kind of in a weird pattern where I don't know what they're going to do with Kyler Murray after the year. I don't even think they know at this point, but I like the Niners are on a insane win streak. They went on a 3-game skid and they haven't lost since. They've beat the Jags, Bucks, Seattle, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. Give me the Niners to win and cover. I picked them to cover last week, huge spread. They did not cover it, but I think they are going to cover it this week. We've got the Cowboys at the Bills. This looks like a huge rat line. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites right now against the Cowboys, who are rolling right now. I feel like most signs, I think everybody's going to be taking Dallas. I mean, Dak's playing like an MVP. I think he should be the MVP at this point. But to me, I don't know. This Cowboys offense has been so good inside in a dome. It's going to be in Buffalo. I think the weather's going to be kind of crappy. I like the Bills here. I think this is going to be a dumb pick. I could definitely see the Cowboys winning this game easily. I don't know. I like this spot for the Bills. Gonna be kind of gross. Cowboys got to play outside. Give me Buffalo to win and cover. Now we are off to the primetime games. We have the first one being the Ravens and the Jags on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. This seems like another rat line. Oh my gosh. These are the stinkiest lines I think I've seen in a few weeks here. I feel like the Ravens are coming off some weird games. Jags are coming off 2 straight losses. I think I don't know. Maybe Lawrence looks a little bit better a week after the injury. I'm going to take the Ravens to win, the Jags to cover. I think the Jags defense has looked worse than it actually is over the past 2 weeks. I could see them kind of having a nice little get right spot here against the Ravens, who don't have the same kind of weapons they had faced or an ugly game in Cleveland. So yeah, give me the Ravens to win, but the Jags to keep it close and keep it within the 3. In the last game of the week, we have the Eagles at the Seahawks. Eagles are 3-point favorites. Again, another line I think is kind of stinky, but I'm going to take the team I think is kind of stinky. I'm going to take the Eagles. The Eagles have looked rough kind of in all stages. Their offense has not looked like the same offense we saw last year, and the defense just hasn't gotten it done. And in 3 straight weeks, they've given up over 30, 37 to the Bills, or 34 to the Bills, 42 to the Niners, and 33 to the Cowboys. I think that's going to look a lot better against the Seahawks. I don't know if Gino's playing or not yet, but I'm still going to ride with the Eagles. I have some faith in them, and give me the Eagles to win and cover the 3. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This is week 15. We're getting towards the end, so let me know what you guys are taking. Let me know if you guys have any futures on the line. I've got a Tyreek Hill Offensive Player of the Year that I'm really hoping cashes. That'd be cool, but besides that, I don't have a ton of futures. I had one on the Bengals to win the division back when they were 1-3 or whatever. It was looking good for a minute, and then Joe Burrow got hurt, and then it all kind of game plummeted down. But we will see. Hope you guys enjoy. But until next time, peace out and stay safe.